Alright, I'm going to make a quick video talking about my experience buying a used Tesla from Tesla. So if you're looking, you go to your menu on their website and then used inventory, or new inventory if you're looking to buy new, and then you can search for your specific make model that you're looking for, or model, I guess. If you're going to Tesla, you know what make you're getting. And then the nice thing with this is you can pick different features. So for me, I really wanted to get full self-driving as a feature of the car, which is why I was looking used, because I couldn't justify the $15,000 price tag for a new one or for adding it. But what I found was when you looked at the value or the cost of a vehicle with the full self-driving, there wasn't that much of a difference in the actual price. It's a couple grand versus $15,000. So buying a used with full self-driving felt like the much better deal for me. So obviously your mileage may vary with that, but that's what I discovered. So a couple things I figured out with this is when you're doing it, you want to play around with it a little bit. So I'm going to put my zip code here in central Indiana. And when I was searching, I was searching for 3s and Model Ys. And I would set up, if I was doing a 3, I wanted a 21 or 22 and full self-driving. And a lot of times the selections that would bring up close to me weren't the best options. They'd bring up a lot of older cars that are outside of that range. But then I'd scroll down to the area where it had vehicles available outside of your area, and those matched better. So I don't know why it does that, but that's just something to be aware of. So as you're looking, play around with what your selections are, play around with your location a little bit, because there was a vehicle that a Model 3 that I was very interested in that didn't show up in my normal searching, but when I changed a couple features and a couple locations, it showed up at one of the Ohio locations, which it should have showed up anyways, but didn't. So once you find a vehicle that you like, you click on the more details, it'll bring you up information. The nice thing with Tesla is if you buy directly from them as a used vehicle, you get the remainder of the factory warranty plus an additional year and 10,000 miles or 10,000 miles full warranty. So my car, I bought it with 45,000 miles on it. It now has 46, and I'll have another 10,000 miles on top of that when that expires. So you can review everything here, what it has, what features it has. It'll talk to you about the warranty, so when it expires, and then that takes over, and then your drivetrain warranty. And then when you're ready to order it, and this is kind of the neat thing, this is the first time I bought a car online versus from a traditional dealer, is I just clicked on that continue to payment button, used Apple Pay, and I had bought a Tesla. So once you do that, it'll prompt you to create a Tesla account if you don't already have one, download the app, and once you download the app, it already links the VIN number for this Tesla that you just bought or put your $500 deposit on to your account, and then it gives you several different steps to complete. So it's a pretty painless process. You have to submit your insurance, your financing, a couple other things, and it'll walk you through how to do that. So you complete this step, and then your next step's available, and then you kind of move through the process until all those steps are complete, and then you can pick your pickup date. Now, obviously, a used vehicle, it's a real existing vehicle. You don't have to wait for it to be made, anything like that. So the only complaints I had with this process were when it gave me the link to pick up or select my pickup dates. And I live in Indiana. The car I bought was in Illinois. It only gave me 2 days as an option, and every other day was grayed out. And those 2 days didn't work for me because my wife needed to go with me because I put her as an owner of the vehicle also. And per Tesla rules or BMV rules, we both had to be present. So I texted the number I got the link from, asking, hey, what other options we have, or do we have? And then I also had a question about, because it wasn't clear on if I had to mail a check ahead of time or if I could bring a check with me for the purchase of the vehicle. So I texted this number, and I didn't get a response. So I went online to the Tesla website and to the chat thing on there, and they said, you need to talk to the dealership. So I called the dealership. Nobody answered. And so I called the local Indianapolis dealership. Somebody answered there, and they were able to kind of answer my questions for me. They said, yes, you should be able to pick different dates. Just give them some time. They have 24 hours to respond to text, and you can just bring the check with you. So that was nice to get those questions answered. But that's really my only frustration, was the lack of communication with my Tesla advisor after I'd purchased the vehicle. I think if I had set the expectation of use this link to communicate with us, and we have up to 24 hours to respond, that would have been fine. Just set the expectation on the front end. But given that I was hoping to get it picked up in a couple days and I was getting no communication, it was a little frustrating. Otherwise, when I went to pick it up, picked a time, drove up there, brought the check, handed them check from my bank, signed a couple pieces of paper. They gave me the keys, did a quick walk around. Everything was good, and we were done. So the total time in the dealership was less than 20 minutes. If anybody's, I'm sure most of the people watching have had the traditional car buying experience where you're there for many, many hours. Not that at all. So far, I've been very happy with the car. It's been absolutely wonderful. I've bought and sold lots of vehicles, and this is the only one that I've not had buyer's remorse on. So I think the online buying process, again, with the exception of some of that communication and not setting the expectations appropriately, was very easy. Picking up the dealership was amazing. Very happy with the car overall. So just remember, when you're looking on the website, change up your filters a little bit, because for whatever reason, it doesn't always bring you the most appropriate vehicles. So just keep that in mind. Be willing to play around with it and see if you can find the vehicle that you're looking for. The other thing just to know is, even though my car does have full self-driving, because of the software it's on, I have to wait for the beta software to catch up with the firmware that my car is on, 23.2.12, and the current 11.4 beta is ahead of that, but it's not for public release yet. I think it's still in the Tesla employee release. So just keep that in mind. If you do get a vehicle full self-driving beta, there will be likely some lag between when you get your car and then when you can download the data or the beta. So overall, would recommend. Thanks.